Hi everybody, it's Kristin and welcome to my next installment of Stash Status. We are going to talk about concealers, brighteners, and correctors today. I have to tell you, I thought that I had less than I do. Some of them I don't use anymore, so this is going to be a good opportunity for me to kind of, declutter, give away some, that sort of thing. But yeah, at any rate, let's go ahead and get started. Oh, and by the way, I haven't yet, but by the time this goes live, I'm going to have a Stash Status playlist for you guys. So I will link the playlist below every time I do another one of these, because it does seem like you guys appreciate these more. I've heard several times you appreciate these more than just a makeup collection video. So at any rate, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I don't have really terrible under eye circles. Every once in a while when I'm a little bit tired, or a lot in the spring when my allergies are really kicking up, I will get a little bit more darkness under here. So my favorite is, and you can see how much I've used of this, I believe this is my second one of these, and this is the Giorgio Armani Master Corrector, and I use it in the color 1, or the shade 1. FYI, from what I understand from Michelle from Makeup MLC, this product is being discontinued. So if you like this and use it every day, get yourself some of this. I really like it. It's very expensive, but it lasts forever. It has the teeny tiniest little wand on it, and it just, that's kind of the shade, what shade 1 is. I've never used shade 2. This is just the one I got originally, and it worked for me. So what I like about that little wand is that you can really place it where you want, and it just, sometimes like I gotta see which eye it is. Yeah, this eye, I have a little vein that really pokes out there, not pokes out, but like the color shows through, and that will help to correct it. So that one I like. The other one that I have in my collection is the BB Tinted Under Eye Corrector from Tarte. Can see I've only used a little bit of this. I don't like this at all. It doesn't provide a good base for any concealer over the top of it. In my opinion, it's right there. On me, and I have drier under eyes, it just really sort of cakes things up. And I don't like it at all. So when my Armani is gone, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. But at any rate, those are the two correctors that I have in my collection. And I don't, when I found this, I stopped buying. I used up what I had and stopped buying any other ones because that just was working for me. So let's move into, I have a couple of kind of like these are quads and this is a duo. So these are from the Coastal Scents. This is the quad camo in medium, and this is the quad camo in light. I bought this one more for myself, and this one just to kind of have other options in my kit, so to speak. I always say that in quotes because I'm not a makeup artist, but I do sometimes do makeup for other people. So these are very nice. The consistency is nice. They work better for me. They work better on other people for me versus on myself, if that, hopefully that came out correctly. It's just not creamy enough for my drier under eyes. This is a product that I have used a long time, and I am not sure where you can get this. I got this in a glossy box or a Birch box or something like that, and I've gone through a full one of these on the one side, and then this is the second one I had that a friend had sent to me. This is the Sheer Cover Duo Concealer in light medium. So these are still very creamy. I mean, that was me barely touching in there, and I'm just showing you this for consistency's sake and color's sake. These are very, very nice. I think the only reason I haven't reached for this lately is because I have preferred products where I'm not sticking my finger into it. It's kind of probably my issue with these as well. Okay, so I'm going to kind of break these up into the ones that I haven't used as much and kind of work my way through. I think that's the best way. And at the end, I'll talk about the couple of brighteners that I have. So this is the Maybelline Fit Me, and this is in the shade Light. This was sent to me by a friend who didn't work for her. And there's the shade right there. I like this one for blemishes. It's a little too dark for me to use underneath my eyes. For some reason, it just pulls a little bit darker on me. I can use it. It's just not as brightening as I would like the concealer under my eyes to be. But it does work well. It's a lighter coverage, in my opinion. I know lots of people have duped this for the NARS Radiance Concealer, but, or the creamy NARS, you know what I mean. I returned that. I didn't like that at all. This I can work with. I don't find that this creases on me and doesn't look cakey, where the NARS one I really felt looked cakey on me. this one, I just am going to give it a quick mention and a swatch. I haven't used it yet. I just got it from a subscriber. And it's the Lasting Perfection from Collection. I think it's Collection 2000 is what it's called. But so I was looking for a name there. But so that's what it looks like. And this is in the color Fair 1. And I am excited to use this, but like I said, I just got it. So you can see that, like, compared to that other one, how much lighter and brighter that is. So I just wanted to give that a quick mention. And this is another one that my friend Barb had sent to me that she didn't work for her. And I haven't used it all that much, only a couple of times. So I'm just going to show you a swatch, and then I'm gonna promise to use it more, and then I'll talk about it in the future. But that's the Messiest Swatch of Life. But this is the Marc Jacobs concealer, so it's this click-up thing. It's got a little metal tip on it, and that's the shade right there at the end. There's a little more yellow to it than some of the other ones, so I could see that having some brightening because of that. But I've had it for a long time. I just haven't played with it. One other sort of international concealer. You guys know I always refer to my makeup from other countries as international. This is from Bourjois, and it's the 123 CC Eye Cream. I've actually shown this in a favorites, and it says 24-hour hydration. It really is very nice. I think I stopped using it because I was afraid I would run out of it because I'm ridiculous like that. So that is the shade right there. Very nice, very creamy. This is one that I find, and this is sort of a rubber tip applicator. This is one that I find that when I apply it, it's a sheer coverage. It's not super full coverage. And I do find it to be hydrating. It will actually crease once on me. And then if I go back in, pat it out, then it won't crease anymore. I have a lot of concealers that I've used in the past that are like that, and that is one of them. So I do really, really like that. Here's one that just didn't work for me. I totally forgot to include this when I did my IT Cosmetics review. I did one on brushes that was really highly requested, and then I did one on my IT Products, which was also requested. I'll link both of those below, but I totally forgot to mention this. And this is the Bye Bye Under Eye. This just didn't work for me. I know lots of people swear by this, but first of all, let's just... Do you see how much I had to squeeze out, or how hard I had to squeeze that to get the product out? And then, there's a shot of the color. It's very, very thick. It does last a long time, but it's on me. It looks really, really cakey. No matter what I did with it, I tried to kind of mix it with another concealer to make it work that way. And while that did work, it just ended up being a lot of extra work for me. So it sits in my collection and I haven't used it up. I need to make more of an effort. This is one that I've talked about quite a bit, and I know other people really enjoy this. This is the Tarte Creaseless, Maracuja Creaseless Concealer. I have the shade in Light. I've had this a really long time as well. And this is another one where you have to really squeeze. Like, I had to really squeeze to get some out of there. And there is the shade right there. I like this a lot. This works well for me under eyes as well as on blemishes. So frequently when I travel, I will grab this one. I used to grab this one when I traveled. We'll talk about the one that I grabbed now in a minute, but oops, as I drop it. But this is really nice. It does seem to blend out, and it can look cakey if you use too much of it, but it doesn't it doesn't crease on me. And if I really get it nice and blended and don't use too much, then it doesn't look quite as cakey as some otherwise. It's like the Bye Bye Under Eye does. All right, a couple of drugstore ones. I'm leaving my two current favorites till the end here. A couple of drugstore ones. The Rimmel Perfect Match. I use this in the shade Fair Light, number 230. This has a sponge. No, that's not a sponge. That's a little brush tip applicator. This is a nice one to travel with as well. It's very messy. It gets very messy in the cap no matter what you do, which kind of drives me a little bit crazy. But, you know, I have issues like that. And there is the shade. This works really well. This is another one where when you put it on, no matter how little you use, it will crease. And then you pat it out and it's okay. It starts to crease a little bit towards the end of the day. And I feel like this starts to disappear towards the end of the day as well. But I'm trying to see if it has any... It doesn't say that it's long wear. It does say 2-in-1 concealer and highlight. So, but at any rate, it just doesn't last quite as long as some other ones. That's the same case with this, the CoverGirl and Olay, the Depuffer, as I've used other ones. This was my favorite for a very long time. I love the cap on this. I'm just going to mention that. It has a little prong in there that goes into the hole so it doesn't get messy. So this has a metal applicator. It does feel really good on the skin. And there is the shade right there. And this one is nice. I do like the feel of the cooling thing, but I can't get it blended in with that tip. I have to apply it and then pat it out. And it really, I don't know that it depuffs? I don't know that it depuffs anything, but it does sort of neutralize more. I don't find it to be super brightening. I find it to be a little bit more neutralizing. I'm trying not to say if that makes any sense, but sometimes I just don't know if the words that I say, the words that are coming out of my mouth are making any sense. All right, and then this one is one that is newer to my collection. I had it tipped over so you can't see, but I've used a lot of it. And if you ever look at what I'm wearing, I've been wearing this one a lot. I recently have gone back to the Pro Longwear just because I have, but this is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Concealer. This has a doe foot applicator, which looks like that. And I have the color Light. And the application of this is so easy with the doe foot. You know, I mean, you guys all have used a doe foot. You just put it on, blend it out. Very, very nice. This one lasts a really long time, but my only issue with it is towards the end of the day. So for me, that's towards the end of a 12-hour day, which I think if something lasts 10 plus hours, that's really good. I kind of will see it start to get a little bit weird right around here. Almost patchy, not quite. It's hard to explain, but I mean, 12 hours is a really long time. So I like this one. I don't find it to be quite as much coverage as the Pro Longwear, which I'm going to talk about next, which is my favorite, but it is a very nice concealer, and I find it to be, I don't find it to be hydrating, but I don't find it to be drying. So it's nice, middle of the road. And then the last one, this is my favorite. This is the MAC Pro Longwear. This is my second or third of these. This is in the color NW20. We all know that the pump isn't the best thing known to man, but if you're really careful and don't talk while you're doing it, you can get a good amount out. So I was able to get just that much out. And this one is not super brightening. If I wanted brightening, I would use the 15. And I do have a little sample of that. Sometimes I mix those. But this is, for me, the perfect match to my skin. So I can use this under eyes, which is where I mostly use it. And I can also use it on my blemishes, and it doesn't look like a funny bright spot where my blemishes, if you know what I mean. If you've done that before, you know what I'm talking about. But stays forever. Blends out beautifully. I use it with the F86 brush, which I've just recently talked about in my favorites. I've used it with my fingers. It works well around my nose. It is a great concealer. For me, it's just the perfect concealer. And as you can see, I have tried quite a few. So the last two things that I want to talk about are Brighteners. And I've used these a little bit. I don't religiously use these by any means. I mean, I don't use them very often. I have them, I just don't use them very often, which is why I only have two of them. So I'm trying to give you a good swatch of this. The first one that I have is the MAC in Radiant Rose. This is one of those YouTube made me get it sort of things. It's very, very pretty. I do find it to be brightening, and I'm not one that's you're not going to see me, like whip this all over my face. I will just take a little bit on my hand, and if I really feel like my eyes need to be brightened, then I will kind of brighten up over that. And this one does not work well if you have put some powder on there and then you're about to walk out the door, or later in the day you're like, I need some brightening. I don't find that this one works quite as well over powder. The other one that I have is the YSL Touche Éclat, and this actually, a friend had given this to me in the number 1. And I will show you these side by side. So that's the Touche Éclat, and that's the Radiant Rose. And that's where I poked my hand. Sorry for that little thing in between there. But they are similar. I think the Touche Éclat is a little more peach, where the MAC one is a little bit more pink. MAC, and that's the Touche Éclat. This one, however, I can put this over powder and it works well, and it will blend back in. So I will carry this with me sometimes in my purse when I know I'm going to have really long days and I need a little perking up later in the day. So I hope that you enjoyed seeing what I have currently in my stash of concealers, brighteners, and correctors. On my face today, I have the Bourjois Healthy Mix again. And over the top of that, I have the IT Cosmetics Celebration Foundation Illumination, and I have the color in Light. For blush today, I pulled out one. This was a limited edition Merle Norman Spring Collection. This is the Lasting Cheek Color in Fancy Free. I like their lasting cheek colors. They do last. For highlight today, I pulled out my Guerlain Meteorites, and I have that brightening up my world. On my eyes today, I have the NARS Duo in Isold. I think I have that correct. And I have the lighter color in my inner 2/3, darker color in my outer third. I have that blended out with a little MAC. I first put some soft brown in there, and then it was just too warm, so I went over the top of it with some Wedge. And just to deepen things up a little bit, I have the Cargo in Columbia, the single shadow in Columbia, which is a nice, beautiful brown. And eyelashes, I'm using the Tarte Gifted Mascara. More on that soon. And then for lips today, I have the MAC Lip Liner in Spice. Over the top of that, I have MAC Cream Cup, which I'm just about to call a day on because it keeps coming out of the thing. It's driving me crazy. And then I have two lip lavas over the top of that. I have my Game On lip lava and then a little bit of Tryst. And I think that is everything. So thank you guys so much for watching as the sun is coming up. And I hope that you have a great day. Bye. All right, so with that, that is my game. So with that, that is my status of my... Okay, so with that, that is my status of my... Alright, so that I Gabe, get it together!